We'll call it the case of the naked navigator. Tonight, a Central Florida pilot is in danger of losing his license after he and 3 passengers took a flight in the nude. Philip Smith was also charged with operating his aircraft while intoxicated. A Lake County Sheriff's deputy made the arrest after receiving reports of a plane flying erratically and buzzing houses. Smith said the 4 had been drinking beer and made a spur-of-the-moment decision to fly by the seat of their pants, so to speak.
What's supposed to be a real record-breaking shuttle mission roared into space today from Cape Canaveral. Florida News Network reporter Ross Cavett was there as the Columbia and its cargo of rats rocketed into orbit.
As the 7-member crew headed for the pad, the entire launch team gathered in firing room 3. After 2 unsuccessful attempts to fire off the Columbia, the concentration and determination were focused. Everyone wanted to fly.
Team, we hope 3rd time's a charm today, and wish you the best of luck on a launch and a successful mission and a good California landing. Let's go do it today.
A brief glitch popped up, a faulty reading on a navigational unit, but some quick teleconferences solved the problem, and the stage was set for the big moment.
Well, it sure looks like a good day to launch, so we'll make a run at it. NTD, you have go to proceed.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Columbia on a life sciences mission for Earth and space.
After a brief bit of noise at liftoff, the launch team went silent, their eyes glued skyward as the Columbia headed for orbit.
Columbia Houston, go at throttle up.
And Mission Control sees a good booster separation. Columbia is now flying free, powered by its own main.
Columbia Houston, performance nominal.
All right. We're there. Only when the orbiter's 3 main engines cut off some 8 minutes later and the Columbia was in orbit did the celebration really begin.
Well, that was Ross Cavett reporting. Well, up next, a battle of the best behind the bar.
Weather's live tonight from Shake, Rattle, and Pour bartender competition when we come right back.
This year, 46,000 American families will lose a mother, a sister, a wife, a daughter to breast cancer. A third of those deaths preventable with a simple mammogram. So we're proud to become a national sponsor of Race for the Cure, a fundraiser for research and screening. Because women's wellness matters.
Now's a good time to join Jenny Craig. We'll donate $10 for every new program to Race for the Cure. Call 1-800-92-JENNY.
I could really use a vacation.
That picks me up and takes me to exciting new worlds.
I could really use a vacation.
Where I live life instead of just reading about.
Discover the continent of Puerto Rico. Only a continent could offer so many great vacation experiences. Only Puerto Rico puts it all within your reach.
Let me in, let me out. That's what power sliding's all about. Helps you in, helps you out. That's what power sliding's all about.
Now, the new Pontiac Transport gives you one touch other minivans don't. The all-new power sliding door. Just touch the button, let it slide.
New Pontiac Transport's ready to ride.
Eyewitness News Weather with Todd Tongen is certified by the National Weather Association.
Eyewitness News Weather is brought to you by Great Western's family of companies, $40 billion strong.
Lately, I've been spending a lot of time with this old rope, thanks to Great Western Direct Deposit. You see, on payday, when folks are standing in line at the bank with their paycheck, mine's already in my checking account, and I get time for this. By the way, they don't even charge you for a regular checking account. Now, nobody likes to get tied up on payday. Talk to Great Western Bank about direct deposit, or ask your employer.
Warning, the following scenes may shock you. They contain graphic depictions of the everyday lives of people who suffer from mental illness.
Hi, hon. Hi, Dad.
Isn't that nice?
Thanks. It's an Ang painting that's in the Louvre.
It may come as a shock, but many people with mental illness can lead lives that aren't so different from yours. To understand more, Call the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill toll-free 1-800-950-NAMI.
The Seville SLS is a new driving force, but you can handle it with the new power of a smart lease. Seville SLS creates a higher standard with the North Star system. At its heart and soul is the response of a 270 horsepower V8. And now Cadillac Smart Lease puts a new Seville SLS within your grasp for $539 a month for 24 months with $2,170 down. See your Florida Cadillac dealer.
Spend the day away from it all on a Discovery cruise. Start with a sumptuous breakfast buffet. Enjoy shipboard activities, games, shows, do the limbo, swim on our pool deck, work up an appetite? Good. Then feast on our lavish lunch buffet. It's so good you'll go back for more. What better way to spend a day? Call your travel agent or Discovery at 1-800-93-SHIPS. That's 1-800-93-SHIPS.
Todd's got a great job. It's dinner time, and he's at a TGI Fridays restaurant in South Dade at a bartender competition.
A great idea for a competition, Todd.
Yeah, well, Kristi, you know, the guys from TGI Fridays actually consulted Tom Cruise in that great movie Cocktail, where he's doing all the showmanship, doing the bartending. With me is Bert Gerardo. He's the regional manager at TGI Fridays. You got your big banner up here, the championships. Now, the 9 guys here, the winner of this will go to Dallas for the international championship?
That's correct. There'll be 4 competitors there.
Well, you can see the guys are behind us doing the tricks, and it's more than just flipping bottles and tins, isn't it?
Absolutely. These guys have to know 600 drinks. They have to know our entire recipes from all of our items on the menu. They have to know trivia. They have to know current events.
Well, like how many drinks would they have to know if you know?
About 600 drinks.
600 drinks. So I can throw a drink at any of these guys, they'll know.
Go for it.
All right, hang on a second. Hey, excuse me, how do you make a Rob Roy?
One Rob Roy, some of your finest scotch with a little bit of sweet vermouth there and a cherry and a dash of orange bitter sets it right off.
All right. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay, now you also have to know how to make non-alcoholic drinks, because this is all about responsible drinking.
Absolutely. It's responsible drinking. It's a lot of fun, and it's real important that everybody knows we're here to raise money for the United Way. Agencies like Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Broward and Dade County, and also the Boys Club and the Girls Club of Miami.
So basically the money's going to stay here in Miami and go to at-risk kids. It's all charitable.
That's it. That's
okay,
exactly
fantastic. It's open to the public tonight?
Absolutely.
They can come down and see these guys at work?
Come on down and spend some money and raise some money for the United Way.
Okay, fantastic. We're going to take a look at neighborhood weather right now. Here's how it shapes up, and then maybe I'll get behind the bar. Show these kids a couple of things. 87 in Miami right now, 83 on the beach, 89 in Kendall, Homestead 87 degrees. Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Key West, all on screen, and the surf temperature is 82. Boy, the weekends are they're scheduled in the wrong spot. Too much rain on this weekend, at least Saturday. Sunday turned out all right. Barometer right now is steady. 57% humidity, winds are southeast at 8 miles per hour, and the dew point is 70. Here's a look at the satellite picture of the nation. You can see clear skies on the west coast, thunderstorms rumbling across the Midwest and the Mid-South, and clear skies finally over Florida, the Sunshine State, living up to its name today. All the moisture and cloudiness that was on top of us on Saturday pushing off to the northeast and out of our forecast. Now these guys, as I said, they got to know over 600 drinks. They also have to know the current events. So if I'm going to come in here, I want to know a score on a game, or I want to bleed my... Yeah? Hey, kid, come here a second. Come here a second. Do you get a lot of people coming in here telling you their problems?
Never.
I thought that's
nobody has problems anymore.
I thought the bartenders have to be a good listener, kind of like Dear Abby. All right, let's take a look at the rest of neighborhood weather. Here's how it shapes up. The visible picture right now showing clear skies over Florida. Yeah, just a few puffy clouds, but really just more of a decoration than anything else. Here's a look now at our radar. It's a clean sweep, nothing on it, and so straight to the forecast. That's out of Tampa, and that's ground return. Northeast winds at about 5 to 10 knots. Seas 1 to 2 feet. The bays will have a smooth to a light chop. My forecast for tonight, fair skies and warm. 70 inland, 75 on the coast. Tomorrow, it looks like mostly sunny skies. It's going to be warm again, a high around 90. And the extended forecast, we're going to stay warm. No cool weather in the offing, but at least plenty of sunshine to dry us out. Plenty of sunshine. A few afternoon inland thunderstorms and maybe a nighttime and a morning shower. Highs around 90, lows around 74. Once again, it's tonight at the TGI Fridays down here in the Falls. You can catch these guys in action. 9 guys from all over, from Atlanta to Detroit to Dallas, you name it. All right, I'm going to try the tin toss. Can you hold this for me?
You can do it, man.
I can do it.
You can do it. Turn.
What can I get you?
Oh!
Back to you guys. I need a little training.
We know that was going to happen.
You need a lot of work, Todd.
Just don't ask him to make a pink Cadillac or something.
No, nothing fancy.
Still to come, why a tie isn't good enough for the Florida Panthers.
And why change is in the wind at the University of Miami. We'll show you when Eyewitness News turns to Steve Alvarez in sports.
It's the place to catch some of baseball's first pitches, and where people love to throw themselves into the game. But the town of Sarasota, Florida is also a major financial center because it's served by Nations Bank, which lets Albert and Fruit Company pick from the widest range of commercial services, gives families like the Piles greater investment options, and helps people keep all their bases covered in Sarasota and in 1,900 other communities throughout our nation.
Ford Escort is making headlines with this value exclusive by America's best-selling small car, and for a limited time get 2.9% financing. That's right, buy any new Ford Escort loaded with value and you'll get 2.9% financing for up to 48 months. Now that's front page news. Just one of the great values available now on America's best-selling cars and trucks at your South Florida Ford dealer, your source for value.
Ford, the best never rest.
Coming at you on Sports Jam Live.
Jimmy Cefalo gets you ready for the biggest night in sports and profiles the ladies who heat up the Panther game.
Then hear it from the coach live from Don Shula's All-Star Cafe.
The off week gives the Dolphins time to move on without Marino. Scott Mitchell explains the new pressures that come with the new job.
Catch it tonight. Sports Jam Live, the Don Shula Show, Monday Night Football, 10-team sports night.
This is the sports car no one could match. Not Acura, not Mazda, not even Porsche could answer our challenge to match Firebird's standard driver and passenger airbags, standard anti-lock brakes, and 275 horsepower engine for even twice the price of this new Firebird formula. Soon other sports cars will try to close the distance, and that's okay. But that will be then. This new Firebird is now.
Steve Alvarez is here with sports, and drumroll, an alert about
Big change, huh?
Ryan Collins. Well, the fickle fans here wanted a change after one
They
loss.
get their way, huh?
And they get, no, I agree. I think needs a little bit of spark in the offense. Maybe Ryan Collins can bring. He's an interesting guy. He's very mobile. He runs around. He provided a spark the last time he played. Dennis Erickson has spoken, and he has decreed Ryan Collins is the new starting quarterback for the University of Miami. Collins on the field this afternoon. He got the word. He beat Frank Costa in the battle. Frank, of course, stumbled a bit against FSU. The fans wanted his head, although he had a pretty good game, but perhaps Ryan Collins, a bit more mobile, can spark him when they play Syracuse this coming Saturday. There is Frank Costa, who got the word before they went on the practice field. So UM will make a change. Dennis Erickson says he's not sure if it's permanent. Perhaps both will play this Saturday. Perhaps both will play this season. But certainly the winds of change blow through the University of Miami's practice field. We're going to hear from Dennis and the quarterbacks coming up at 6 o'clock. In Pro Ball, the Dolphins' new starting quarterback, Scott Mitchell, also began work this week. Now, his coach took on an additional role as a groom. Don Shula, as you know, was married on Friday night. Maybe he'll be a bit mellow this week in practice. Nah, not a shot. Anyway, coming up tonight, the coach just part of our Monday night lineup at 8 o'clock. It's Sports Jam Live, followed by the coach Don Shula at 8:30. Then Monday Night Football, the Raiders and the Broncos. Now, the Dolphins are down to quarterback number 2. Could be worse. Could be like the Eagles. They're down to number 3. Randall Cunningham's already got a broken leg. Bubby Brister yesterday against the Giants tore up his ankle. They're down to number 3, Ken O'Brien. Hey, if you can throw a football, I've got their number. The Oilers, by the way, won at New England yesterday. Now, one of their offensive linemen, Dave Williams, was not there. He elected instead to be with his wife, who gave birth to the couple's first child. It cost Williams $125,000. That's his salary for one game, but he said he would gladly give up that money to be there for his child's birth. He said that's more important. The Oilers don't agree. Incredibly, some members of the front office want Williams suspended. For what? You know, when he's 80 years old, he's not going to be counting his money. He's going to count his memories. And one of the greatest is to witness the birth of your own child. If he can afford to miss a paycheck, more power to him. I think somebody should tell the Oilers organization there's more life than just football. And the way they're playing, there better be more than just football. Hey, there's also hockey. The Panthers last night tied Tampa Bay at 3-3. And you know what? To a man, they were disappointed. They felt they should have won. And they're right. In the first period, how's this for your first goal in the NHL? Scott Severin from near mid-ice. Tampa's Darren Poopa never expected a shot. It was 1-0 Florida. Third period, Panthers went up 3-1. Scott Mellenby with a shot in front of the net. Poopa had his back turned. Rob Niedermeyer got the rebound. It was 3-1. But Tampa stormed right back. Seconds later, John Van Beesbrook can't cover up. Lightning taps it in. It's 3-2. And just a minute later on the power play, they scored again. The Panthers were up 3-1. Less than 2 minutes later, it was a tie.
What happens in all of sport, you know, where, you know, you're ahead in the game and you go into a little bit of a prevent and, you know, they get a bounce one way or another and shoving past you, and all of a sudden they get the momentum a little bit. And unfortunately that happened, but you know, we stopped the momentum a bit and had some chances of our own at the end of the game and into overtime. So, you know, there's not much left to say.
Well, they better be ready because tomorrow night, his one and only South Florida appearance this season, Wayne Gretzky and the Kings skate at the Miami Arena. At the top of the show, we told you the Hurricanes have changed quarterbacks. Dennis Erickson has decided to go with Ryan Collins against Syracuse. Let's hear Dennis' comments from after practice just a few minutes ago.
We've decided to go with Ryan Collins, give him an opportunity to get practice all week as a first quarterback, and he's earned it. He's done some good things, particularly the last 4 or 5 weeks, and so we're going to give him that opportunity, and that's all that is. He's going to have an opportunity. Frank Costa may play, may not play, depending on what goes on.
Dennis Erickson making the change. We'll have more coming up at 6, and of course tonight on Eyewitness News on our night beat after Monday Night Football. Ladies?
Thanks, Steve. Well, still to come, Chevy runs out of gas and Sly demolishes the box office competition.
That's after this live look from our one and only First Union Tower cam. Eyewitness News is coming right back.
My baloney has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. Hey, I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say
you could give your kids a bologna made from less than 100% pure beef or one with fillers. The question is, why would you?
'Cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
Dear Midas, my car was making a terrible squeaking noise. Your competitor said, you need new brakes. At Midas, I got a thorough inspection and was told,
you don't need new brakes. The squeaking noise is caused by brake dust.
Such honesty is refreshing in a time of auto repair rip-offs. Yours truly, Frank J. Ruder.
Dear Midas customers,
at Midas, we won't quote you a price until we diagnose the problem and explain our estimate.
That's the Midas way, the way it should be.
Only good, healthy things grow in Mrs. Dash's garden, where Mrs. Dash has created a salt-free blend of 14 herbs and spices that give food a livelier, zestier flavor. Mrs. Dash, a garden of flavors in 6 varieties instead of salt.
Women tell me if they could afford it, they would only buy professional hair products. I tell them buy Tresemme. Tresemme gives you salon quality without the expensive salon price. Beautiful.
Professional, affordable. Tresemme.
I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher. Wheel is America's game.
You need some cash?
Oh, yeah. I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher.
You got it.
Everybody plays. I'm a wheel watcher. I'm a wheel watcher. Yeah. It's America's game.
Wheel of Fortune, weeknights at 7, only on Channel 10.
If you haven't been watching Jeopardy lately, you're missing categories like
Pro Football Team for 100.
Country Music for 200.
I Love Lucy for 300.
What else we got, you ask? How about
Insects for 100, please. Songs of the 60s for 200, please. Cowboy Life for 300.
Made by Waymo, 400.
And would you believe
Beatles lyrics for 100, Alex.
Alice in Wonderland for 200.
World of Beers for 300.
There's a category for everyone, so
take the Jeopardy challenge. Jeopardy, weeknights at 7:30, only on Channel 10.
Lisa Petrillo is off tonight. Here's what's happening on the entertainment beat. Sad news from the film world tonight. Filmmaker Federico Fellini is gravely ill. Doctors in Rome say Fellini is in a coma and only able to breathe with the help of a respirator after suffering a heart attack. The 73-year-old filmmaker was at the hospital undergoing therapy for a recent stroke at the time of the attack. Fellini's personal physician calls his condition grave but stable.
Demolition Man remains America's favorite film these days. The fast action thriller starring Sly Stallone and Wesley Snipes earned nearly $10 million over the weekend. The #2 spot was nabbed by the big screen version of the TV show The Beverly Hillbillies. And finally, Cool Runnings brought in the third hugest audience for the weekend. Singer George Michael is suing Sony, and if he wins, record companies could lose big. Michael is trying to get out of a long-term contract with the Japanese entertainment giant to reclaim ownership of his past works. Sony has used Michael's back catalog, as they call it, to sell compilations and revivals for easy profits. If Michael succeeds, other artists could follow suit.
Well, Chevy Chase is out of a job. The Fox Network's Chevy Chase show has been canceled effective immediately. The show premiered September 7th and has had a dwindling audience ever since. Fox executives say despite good efforts from Chase and his crew, the show just didn't live up to expectations. Reruns of In Living Color will air in its place starting tonight.
And that does it for us for now.
Ann Bishop and Dwight Lauderdale are off tonight. Diane Magnum and Eliott Rodriguez are next with Eyewitness News at 6. Here's some of what's ahead.
I'm Gail Bright in Coral Springs, where a 14-year-old boy is shot to death, police say, by another 14-year-old. We'll have the story.
Warships line the coast off Haiti as the UN embargo is set to begin. I'm Sue Keenan. I'll have the latest.
I'm Michael Putney. Restoring Aristide and democracy to Haiti. Some would like one without the other. The story coming up.
I'm Kristi Krueger. Thousands march in Washington today demanding more money for research for an epidemic they say doesn't get enough attention. I'll tell you more about it coming up.
Channel 10, WPLG, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. This is Eyewitness News at 6. South Florida's #1 6 o'clock news.
As soon as I heard about it, I just felt all choked up inside, I mean, he's gone.
A 14-year-old boy dies of a gunshot wound, and police say another teenager pulled the trigger. Good evening. A quiet Broward neighborhood is quaking tonight with the kind of violence that stuns all of us.
One teenager is dead, and a classmate admits he's the one who pulled the trigger. What's not clear tonight is why Danny Dariano is dead. Eyewitness News reporter Gail Bright brings us this latest horrifying story of kids and guns.
A 14-year-old boy is carried away, shot to death, police say, by another 14-year-old, leaving neighbors of this quiet Coral Springs community stunned.
I didn't see anything. All I heard was that there was an attempted break-in and they shot him. I heard that Frank was in the house alone and he shot him. Some of the neighbors were saying that there was an argument yesterday between the two of them. One had even said that he was going to do exactly this when the parents left.
The victim, Danny Dariano, a student at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High, police say, may have also been the perpetrator. Police say the call originally came in as a burglary. When they got here, they found one 14-year-old boy inside the house. The other one, Danny Dariano, was draped in the window, part of his body inside and part of it out.
We put him on the lawn and attempted to administer first aid. Unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries shortly thereafter.
Danny's father, although shaken by the tragedy, admitted the two were friends.
They were friends, though.
Usually they get a fight for 5 minutes, then they become best friends. They have another fight, and then they're friends again.
Something police are looking into, along with where the gun may have come from.
My other brother, he wanted to get a gun from Frank. He said he had guns, and he was selling them.
Classmates who too say guns are easy to come by were saddened, but not surprised.
Any guns in your school?
Yeah, lots of guns. Everybody has a gun in my school.
A friend of mine that knows him, he said he was on this gang stuff, right? And they said he was going to shoot him.
Whatever happened, he said, it's a tragedy.
As soon as I heard about it, I just felt all choked up inside, I mean, he's gone.
In Coral Springs, Gail Bright, Channel 10 Eyewitness News.
And we've just learned that police now know the boy got the gun from a locked safe inside his home. He's been released to his parents, and while no charges have been filed, the state attorney's office is investigating.
And one of the most tragic things about this shooting is that violence among kids is all too common here in Florida. It'll be a big issue before a special session of state lawmakers next month. In only 14 days, Governor Lawton Chiles hopes to change the way juvenile crime is handled here in the state of Florida.
I hope that we can make it clearly illegal to furnish or sell a gun to minors, and to make it clear that we're not going to have armed minors in our schools, around our streets, that we have to disarm the minors.
And of course, we'll continue examining the questions surrounding juvenile crime from now until that special session, with full coverage from Tallahassee beginning November 1st.
Just under 6 hours away, the United Nations embargo against Haiti begins, with U.S. warships already ringing the Haitian coastline to enforce it. Also tonight, President Clinton freezes all U.S. assets of the military leaders in Haiti, blamed for blocking the return of President Jean-Bertrand Aristide, just as he fights to keep the right to send troops into Haiti. We begin our team coverage with Eyewitness News reporter Sue Keenan with the latest inside Haiti.
Port-au-Prince today, a quiet, empty city. Residents are in mourning for the Justice Minister, Guy Mallory, killed Thursday. The military has called a general strike, and off the coast, warships from the U.S. and Canada now prepare to enforce the UN economic embargo. It takes effect in 6 hours. In addition, the U.S. government is freezing the bank accounts of defiant Haitian leaders and revoking visas for Haitian officials now in this country.
The president is committed to the restoration of democracy. The United States is committed to that purpose, and will continue to press those in Haiti to comply with the Governor's Island Accord, take additional action to restore democracy.
I think there's a short-term and a long-term critical hour. I think certainly we cross a turning point when this embargo takes effect later this evening or at midnight this evening.
By phone, a spokesman for the U.S. Embassy told Eyewitness News he does not expect U.S. ground troops to be called in. And while this may be one of the most dangerous days to travel to Haiti, flights from Miami to Port-au-Prince were packed today as people lined up to check on their homes and loved ones.
And no place like home. And regardless, fight or not, I'm going and I'm going to stay.
You're not worried about your safety?
Why should I worry about it? If I'm there today, is that tomorrow? I'm dead.
While the U.S. still holds out hope the peace accord will go forward, according to the White House, the U.S. reserves the option of using troops if necessary to protect the estimated 1,000 Americans still in Haiti. 650 Marines are now in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, along with 20 helicopters to give them mobility. Eliott?
Sue, has there been any talk of sending more troops to Guantanamo to be standing by in case something does happen?
No, not at this point, and the whole idea of troops is a very contentious issue in Washington at this hour.
Okay, Sue Keenan, thank you for that update.
In the meantime, Miami's Haitian community is continuing a petition drive urging President Clinton to take action. The collection of names began last night during a rally in Little Haiti. Haitian Americans are hoping to put pressure on the White House to oust Lieutenant General Raul Cedras from power. So far, more than 4,000 signatures have been sent to Washington. The embargo, the warships, the growing tension, all of it designed to restore deposed President Jean-Bertrand Aristide to power. Our team coverage continues now with Eyewitness News reporter Michael Putney, who shows us not all supporters of democracy share that goal.
Jean-Bertrand Aristide is a 40-year-old former Catholic priest who is both loathed and feared and loved and respected. In the luxurious homes high above Port-au-Prince, Aristide is widely feared as a demagogue who would take from them, the rich, and give to the poor. And the slum dwellers of Port-au-Prince, who regard Tidide as their savior, hope he will. First, he has to regain his office.
If I were the president, I wouldn't risk one American life to put Aristide back in power.
Those misgivings about Aristide are echoed in the intelligence community. A CIA profile prepared during the Bush administration says Aristide suffers from depression and other psychiatric problems and takes a variety of therapeutic drugs which can affect his personality.
He's not only stable, he is brilliant.
Aristide supporters call the attacks on his emotional stability classic character assassination.
I've worked with President Aristide for 2 years. He's a completely sane, intelligent, peaceful man.
But some of his followers are not, and critics say Aristide did little as president to discourage them. After an aborted coup attempt, dozens of people believed to oppose Aristide were brutally murdered. Aristide was slow to speak out against the violence.
Difficult, erratic, and given to support by and support for mobs that were in turn given to violence.
Supporters say Aristide has grown and matured during his 2 years of exile, but not enough to satisfy his critics.
He did a lot of things when he was in charge that were not democratic. So let's not risk any American lives trying to put Mr. Aristide back in power.
Aristide supporters in the exile community are extremely visible and outspoken. Opponents are anything but.
If you are not totally pro-Aristide in Miami or in New York, then your life is threatened.
President Clinton says he supports Aristide and restoring democracy to Haiti. Some would like one without the other. In Miami, Michael Putney, Channel 10, Eyewitness News.
And of course, we'll continue updating events in Haiti tonight on Eyewitness News. In fact, the night beat comes your way about the same time the embargo kicks in.
And tonight, the top executive of Knight Ridder Newspapers is still hospitalized, but we're told he is getting better. Doctors at Jackson Memorial Hospital say the condition of Jim Batten has been upgraded from critical to serious. He suffered extensive head and facial injuries in a car accident last night off Lejeune Road. It's suspected Batten suffered a seizure leading to the accident. Diane?
Florida's Education Commissioner has a chance at a top spot in higher education. Betty Castor is on a short list of names being considered for the position of president of the University of South Florida in Tampa. Castor says she's serious about this job, but some people on the search committee say they're concerned about her academic history. Castor is one of 8 finalists for the position.
And coming up, the old is becoming new again. A popular music spot comes down the hard way. Find out what happened to the Sportatorium.
And then, sorry folks, it's time to roll up your sleeves to guard against the flu. Eyewitness News is coming right back.
Toyota 94 brings more value, more quality. Toyota Camry, the best car built in the U.S. With the 94s, Toyota introduces the all-new Toyota Touch Lease. Lease Camry for $289 a month for 36 months with dual airbags, automatic transmission, AM/FM cassette, cruise control, power windows and locks, and more. All for the same monthly payment as a 93. See your Toyota dealer. For 94, there's more.
Las Lanzas, painted by Velázquez. In Spain, making the world's finest olive oil is an art. Try Carbonell. We're sure you'll be inspired. Carbonell, the world's #1 olive oil since 1866.
Here are more things to be happy about. Being world champ. Snooze buttons. A friendly smile. And a health plan with good doctors close to home. Be happy. Be healthy. Humana.
Circuit City wants to be the best store around. We know you want the best price. That's why we always have the low price. Guaranteed. And you'll get a great selection. The best brands in the business. You see, we all have one goal. Pleasing you. That's how we've been doing business for over 40 years. Friendly advice, great selection, and always the low price. Guaranteed. Welcome to Circuit City.
Welcome to Circuit City, where service is state of the art.
The 1994 Chevy Camaro went through a metamorphosis, not only outside, but inside. With 2 airbags, the driver's side and passenger side, plus anti-lock brakes on all 4 sides. Now your South Florida Chevy Geo team announces another change. The price, not $20,000, not $18,000, not even $15,000. $13,889. Camaros, $13,889. Keep the change.
Well, the old gives way to the new today.
We're talking about the demolition of the Hollywood Sportatorium, of course. It's being reduced to rubble this week to make way for a new housing development. In its heyday during the 70s, the Sportatorium was one of South Florida's main live concert locations, hosting the likes of Elvis, Bob Dylan, Elton John, and Billy Joel. Sad to see it go. Well, people in North Dade are being warned tonight to use less water and to stay away from water on the ground. That's because of a leak in a water treatment pipeline that spilled partially treated sewage into the Eliott River system. The Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Authority is asking people to avoid excessive flushing, lawn watering, and car washing. This affects about 750,000 customers. And after a weekend of boiling water, the boil water order for Pembroke Pines and parts of Miramar has now been lifted. Workers have completed repairs on parts of a water main that broke on Friday.
Getting set for flu season. Many South Florida hospitals and also nonprofit groups are providing free or reduced prices on flu shots. Memorial Hospital in Hollywood was giving flu shots today at a reduced price. The Walk-In Medical Center was booked solid all afternoon with patients hoping to avoid what I've got, the sniffles. The American Lung Association will be offering free shots Tuesday at its Fort Lauderdale location. While there's no shot that can limit the risk of breast cancer, early detection is the best way to survive this disease. Well, today President Clinton defended his plan to allow more women access to mammograms, something that women's groups have been pushing for. Health Beat reporter Kristi Krueger has spent a lot of time reporting on breast cancer, and tonight she's joining us with more on what's happening now. Kristi.
Yeah, a big push, a big demonstration today in Washington, D.C. Thousands of women, many of them breast cancer survivors, marched on Washington today, hoping to attract more attention and more money to a disease that kills one woman every 11 or 12 minutes, rather. Eyewitness News Washington Bureau Chief Tina Galland has that story.
Thousands came demanding attention and research money for a disease that will kill 46,000 women in America this year alone, one that afflicts another 2.5 million. The marchers found an advocate in the White House as First Lady Hillary Clinton agreed women's diseases have too long gotten short shrift in the nation's medical research.
We are demanding and receiving a place at all the tables we need to be.
Women can no longer be treated as second-class citizens.
Accepting millions of petitions supporting a war on breast cancer, the president noted his own mother struggles with the disease. At a rally behind the White House, breast cancer survivors described what made them take to the streets. For Sheila Swanson, it was trying to write her own obituary.
And I didn't like it. I didn't like what I had to say about myself, and I said, I'm going to change it. I'm going to make sure I'm going to come out somewhat of the closet.
The grassroots efforts by activists like this, women from every state of the union, help boost federal funding for breast cancer research, detection, screening, and treatment to record high levels this year. Now President Clinton wants to recruit their help for his health care reform program. The only way, he says, women can be sure they will no longer be second-class citizens. These advocates are willing to give the president a chance, but they'll keep the pressure on.
Well, we're going to be in his face.
In Washington, Tina Galland, Channel 10 Eyewitness News.
And there's no doubt about it, the earlier the disease is found and treated, the better the prognosis. That's why earlier this month, we here at Channel 10 teamed up with the American Cancer Society to offer low-cost mammograms to qualified women. More than 6,000 women from Broward and Dade responded. And you can still call for these life-saving mammogram vouchers through this week only. Women 40 to 49 who haven't had a mammogram in 2 years, or women over the age of 60 who haven't had one in 1 year, are urged to call 594-4363 if you live in Dade, or 564-0880 if you live in Broward. And that's the Health Beat for today. Eliott?
There is some hot news tonight for oyster lovers concerned about the safety of the seafood. Hot sauce isn't just tasty, it just might be healthier. Researchers from Louisiana State University Medical Center are looking for ways to make oysters free of bacteria. Well, while some are trying out different storage methods, others are studying what we put on the oysters. They found out hot sauce kills bacteria in a test tube, so they figure it must kill it on oysters as well. The scientists say it's just the first step. It's a long way from the test tube to the table.
And isn't it appropriate that the state that founded Louisiana hot sauce would come up with that theory?
I never would have thought of that connection.
Well, still ahead, the new player on the front lines for the Hurricanes.
Jimmy Cefalo has that and a lot more live from Shoes. You there, Jimmy?
Yes, I am, guys. I'll tell you, Coach Dennis Erickson made a decision about his starting quarterback for Saturday's game against Syracuse. We'll give you the details when we turn to sports right after this.
A new benchmark for value in a luxury sedan. The 94 Park Avenue, responsive 3800 engine, dual airbag, dual zone climate control, anti-lock brakes, concert stereo, remote keyless entry, supple leather. Now you can have it all.
Is leading the way.
Save almost $25,000 over Lexus 400 at your Florida Buick dealers now.
I come from a big family, and I know what it's like, in shopping and watching, what you buy, your prices, and getting good value on things. My father taught us to be more price conscious because when you shop around, you get better buys. My husband comes in off the job, he'll say, let's go to Walmart. He doesn't say let's go to one of the other department stores, let's go to Walmart. All my family is Walmart shoppers. If they were here, they would all be telling you the same thing.
Now that you're retired, you're just going to sit back and relax, right? I don't think so. You have a million things to do, and you don't have time to worry about the cost of health care. But Medicare alone doesn't provide all the protection you need. So call now and find out about the AvMed Medicare plan. It covers doctors, hospitals, prescriptions, and there are no deductibles and no monthly premiums. Call about the AvMed Medicare plan, because you have better things to do than worry about the cost of health care.
While other car dealers are home asleep tonight, we're working late at JM Pontiac GMC to underprice every new 94 car, truck, and van. Every GMC Safari van, underpriced. Every Pontiac Transport, underpriced. And every Pontiac Bonneville, too, underpriced up to $3,200. While other dealers are under the sheets, we're underpricing every new 94 in stock tomorrow through Sunday.
At JM Pontiac GMC.
Well, there's Tom Collins, Rum Collins. Now there's this kid Ryan Collins, who we don't know too much about. Hopefully Jimmy's going to tell us.
Well, he's a pretty good quarterback, I'll tell you that, Eliott. The fact of the matter is the Hurricanes are 4-1 on the season. They are ranked the 6th nationally. Despite that success, Coach Dennis Erickson decided he needed to make a change at quarterback, and that quarterback is going to be Ryan Collins. He'll get the start Saturday night against Syracuse. Prior to this season, Collins had thrown a total of 8 passes in college. That's it, but he was impressive coming off the bench against Georgia Southern. His mobility will add another level to the Canes offense. The decision to promote Collins is a setback for Frank Costa. He started the first 5 games of the season, didn't play badly. Costa completed more than 50% of his passes through just 3 interceptions, but Coach Erickson decided he needed to make a change.
It's not easy. I mean, you're the starting quarterback, all of a sudden you're not. But he took it like a man. He came out today and worked extremely hard, and he'll do that. That's the kind of person he is. He'll come out here and compete, and he knows he's got to be ready because his opportunity, I'm sure, will come, and he wants to be ready to play and go out and help us win, and that's the biggest thing. The bottom line here is trying to win football games, and both of those guys are into winning football games, and they'll do whatever it takes to win.
He'll make his first start Saturday night at 7:30 in the Orange Bowl against Syracuse. Well, apparently there won't be a change of quarterback for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. You remember the name Ron Powlus? Well, he was the highly recruited quarterback coming out of school, the highest, as a matter of fact, out of high school. He was supposed to start for the Irish this year, but he broke a collarbone in spring practice. Well, apparently he won't be coming back on to play for them later on in the year. He re-broke that collarbone. Yeah, just yesterday during practice throwing a pass. He'll be gone for the remainder of the year. On to pro football. The Dolphins are off this weekend. It was their second bye of the season. They didn't even practice, but it doesn't mean they weren't busy over the weekend. As you probably know by now, Coach Don Shula was married late Friday. He and Marianne Stevens walked down the aisle at St. Joseph's Church in Miami Beach. The coach and his team went back to work today. It was business as usual, but the coach did take time out to tell us about the big event.
Busy weekend for you.
Busy weekend, very enjoyable. Everything went beautifully.
And that was it. It was back to football just that quick. A reminder, the Don Shula Show coming up tonight. On to baseball. Well, the Phillies have to feel pretty good about their chances with the World Series. They beat Toronto in Game 2 last night, and now they're heading home to Philadelphia. The big blow of the game last night came by Jim Eisenreich. It was a 3-run shot in the 3rd inning against Toronto's Dave Stewart, and that gave the Phillies a 5-0 lead. Dave Stewart, the first time he's lost in postseason play. They hung on thanks to plays like this. Take a look at it. Lenny Dykstra going back against the wall, and he makes the catch. That would have turned that baseball game around. As usual, it was an adventure for the Phils. It always is when Mitch Williams takes them on. But watch this. 2 on in the 9th. The ground ball is short over to second for 1. The double play. And the Phillies get the big win, 6-4. Wasn't easy, but Dykstra, Williams, and Eisenreich hung in there.
Felt really good the first at bat, got a walk, which is very unusual for me. And the second at bat, I felt like that's what I could do. And I got behind 0-2, but I didn't give up. You know, I felt I could at least get the run in from third. That's all I was really trying to do.
Big day for Eisenreich and that entire Phillies team. Game 3 will be tomorrow at Philadelphia. And, you know, the big story out of basketball these days is money. Chris Webber is a day he'll not forget. He signed a contract today with the Golden State Warriors. It'll pay him $75 million over the next 15 years. I'm not kidding. $75 million. The guy is just 20 years of age. Hard to believe. That's what the Warriors will pay their brand new star. He led the University of Michigan to the Final Four twice. It's a lot of money for anybody. And finally, a reminder about tonight. At 8 o'clock, Sports Jam Live comes your way right here on Channel 10, followed by the Don Shula Show at 8:30. And at 9 o'clock, it will be the big game between the Raiders and the Broncos, Monday Night Football. That'll do it from here at Don Shula's All-Star Cafe. And, or rather, Eliott and Diane.
Jimmy, what are you doing in your spare time tonight, huh? We'll see you later.
Busy night, yeah.
Thanks. Well, still ahead, Don shows us why the weekends are falling on the wrong days.
Absolutely. His forecast is next. Stay right there.
What do you call tacky? Day-glow bubble gum, trashy underwear, plastic furniture, plastic flowers? When's the last time you saw a blue rose? How can you be sure your taste isn't bad taste?
Toilet seats that you sit on and they play music.
We can all learn a thing or two. What if somebody's talking and they're spitting on you?
Does that happen to you often?
How to get good taste on the next Oprah. Oprah, tomorrow at 4, only on Channel 10.
This year, 46,000 American families will lose a mother, a sister, a wife, a daughter to breast cancer. A third of those deaths preventable with a simple mammogram. So we're proud to become a national sponsor of Race for the Cure, a fundraiser for research and screening. Because women's wellness matters.
Now's a good time to join Jenny Craig. We'll donate $10 for every new program to Race for the Cure. Call 1-800-92-JENNY.
America's Paint Store. From color matching to custom paints, America's Paint Store, Home Depot, where you'll find our premium quality interior paint, Behr Premium Plus. With Behr Premium Plus, colors are much brighter and cleaner than ordinary paint. That's because Behr is made with pure, clean titanium. And Behr Premium Plus interior paint is so durable, it will stand up to thousands of scrubs. Behr Premium Plus, exclusively at Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
This Camel's system is so adaptive, it can travel 50 miles in desert heat without taking fluid, making it one of the world's most dependable animals. This automobile system is so adaptive that if necessary for your safety, it is engineered to travel 50 miles in desert heat without a single drop of coolant, which might also tell you something about its dependability. The Seville STS with the North Star system by Cadillac.
I'm Al Michaels. Join us tonight for ABC's Monday Night Football. We'll be at Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Broncos are always tough at home and led, as always, by John Elway. The Broncos taking on the Los Angeles Raiders, who came from behind for an amazing victory last week against the Jets. The Raiders and the Broncos, one of the NFL's great rivalries tonight.
Followed by the one and only Channel 10 Eyewitness News after the game.
It's official. We took a vote around here. We're going to replay the weekend tomorrow, Wednesday.
So everyone has tomorrow off. It's Saturday followed by Sunday.
Perfect.
Right?
I love
if we
it.
could do that.
Yeah.
We had the power to do that. It looks like it's going to be okay for about the rest of the week, and then things will start going downhill again by Friday.
What's going on with
I don't know.
Not as bad as it on Saturday.
Oh, no. It couldn't be that bad. We're coming to the, we've had 18 inches of rain in September and October combined, and that's almost, a third of our normal rainfall for the whole year.
Wow. Good.
Something
then we're done.
That's it. Let's look outside. We'll find out what our current temperatures are. 85 Miami, the Beach 84, Kendall 85, and 86 in Homestead. It was almost 90 every place for a while today. Fort Lauderdale 84, West Palm 82, 83 in Key West, and Surf at 82 degrees. Pressure now is above 30. Well, I lied. 29, 99 and rising. It soon will be. Relative humidity 61. Southeast wind at 10. The dew point is at 70. That should be going down a little bit. A little drier air coming in. 89 our high today. Very close to 90. 74 the low. 90 90 the record high and 62 the record low. What about for the rest of October? You're thinking, well, is it ever going to cool off? Well, I don't think so. Generally speaking, for the rest of the month, it'll be warmer than normal over the southeast, including Florida. Warmer than normal on the west coast, a cooler zone from Wisconsin back through Nebraska. What about rainfall? Well, wetter than normal for the rest of October, but we don't care. It can't be any worse than what it was. The northern states wetter than normal, and dry in the western part of the country. Let's look at the weather map today. A wet day right now for Nebraska, for Missouri, for parts of Arkansas and into Iowa. Big storms in Texas. Tornado watches in effect there, and a few reports of some twisters this morning and some hail from last night. Sunny skies over Florida and generally sunny on the west coast. As we dissolve into tomorrow, here's the way it'll look. Sunny skies still here with lots of rain across the southern states, moving up into Illinois. Rain and snow north of the border. Here's our satellite review. We'll show you what it looks like in the tropics. Here's a map for Florida. We can see a few clouds over us. The Caribbean Sea looks clear, completely void of clouds, no problem there. A little bit farther off to the east, there is an area of cloudiness here, but there's absolutely nothing going on there at all. It's just a cloudiness not organized, and it's moving slowly off to the east. The upper air winds are pretty strong in the tropics. Here's a look at the whole country in motion now. We can see Florida clear and all the clouds and weather back into the Midwest. Here's our forecast for the boats tomorrow. The wind northeast at 5 to 10, a 1 to 2 foot sea, and with that forecast, the bays are usually smooth to a light chop, and they will be tomorrow. There's a high tide and low tide government cut. For tonight, it'll be fair skies and temperatures on the warm side, overnight low 70 inland, and the rest of us will have about 75 degrees. Tomorrow will be a beautiful day like today. I don't see any problem. A few clouds, mostly sunny, quite warm again. We're forecasting a high of near 90, sunset 6:51. Days are getting shorter. Wednesday through Friday, a good amount of sunshine, a few night and morning showers, low of 74, and the highs will be 90. That's our forecast. Eliott?
Thank you, Don. And coming up on Eyewitness News after Monday Night Football tonight, the very latest on Haiti, where the new sanctions will be going into effect at midnight. Now, that's just about the time Eyewitness News will be going on the air. Stay tuned to find out if the military leaders back down at the last minute. Join us for all the developments on the story tonight on the Night Beat after the game.
Well, finally tonight, one family that will have no trouble remembering each other's birthdays. Susan and Robert Bill just welcomed son Sam into the world. Now, he was born Friday, October 15th. So was Susan, so was Robert. Robert says he woke up that morning and his wife greeted him with, "Happy birthday, honey. I'm in labor." The similarities don't end there either. One of the doctors who delivered Sam shares the same birthday, and the boy is named for his great-grandfather, who was born, you guessed it, October 15th. I guess Sam was just meant to be. What do you think?
Ooh, something strange going on there. That does it for now. ABC's World News Tonight is next.
For Eliott, Jimmy, Don, and the entire Eyewitness News team, y'all have a great evening. And if you could stay up that late, come back and see us tonight right after Monday Night Football. Bye-bye.
Good night.
There's only one Eyewitness News, South Florida's #1 choice for news and information on the one and only Channel 10.
This is a Channel 10 editorial with Channel 10 Vice President and General Manager John Garwitt.
Many people think the violence in Haiti doesn't affect the United States. If you're among them, these symbols of South Florida's growth should prove otherwise. This is Jackson Memorial Hospital, where many people wait hours for treatment. Notice the number of bunched up desks in this classroom. Other students are in trailers. Many must share books and other supplies. South Florida has to constantly plead with the legislature for money to support them all. This is the homeless community, where the American dream has died for people who came here to achieve it. There are just some results of South Florida's population explosion, which will get even bigger if desperate Haitians try to sail away from the chaos there. So abandoning Haiti is not an option for the U.S. South Florida's congressional delegation and all of South Florida must make the rest of Congress and the country realize why.
This has been a Channel 10 editorial. We encourage the presentation of contrasting points of view.